Hello, this is Mike in Detroit. Hello, YouTube. I thought I'd make another video about modulation to help you guys and ladies out, especially if you're playing jazz or gospel music. So this will be part 2. If you haven't watched part 1, go ahead and subscribe. Look for that video on my channel, getting started with modulation part 1. This is going to be an add-on to that. So basically what we're going to do today is pick a progression and then modulate that through hopefully all 12 keys. And it's a very common progression that I have selected today, but remember, it'll work with any progression that you find in a song, because that's what you're doing when you're modulating. You're taking something up, and then you're essentially playing the song in a new key. And it keeps you from hitting that dreaded transpose button. So the progression that I picked randomly is a 1-6-4-5. That progression. Now, how you voice these chords may be different than me. For the purposes of this video, you just got to pick a voicing. So I'm kind of in the intermediate range with these voicings. Let me show them to you. 1, that's just happens to be one of my favorite voicings. I have root, fifth, root. I could play root, fifth, 10. Right now I'm not too worried about my left hand. When you're practicing, you got to worry about one thing at a time. I got a 7, 9, 3, 5 voicing in my right hand. That voicing there. And let me just move my camera a little bit. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Don't get dizzy on me. There we go. No. Okay, come on camera. There you go. So look at the virtual keyboard down there somewhere. That's a 7, 9, 3, 5. What do those numbers mean? Well, in the key of C, that's the 7th degree of the scale, that's the 9th degree of the scale, or second, 9th, same thing. That's the 3rd degree of the scale, and that's the 5th, under a bed of roots. That's my first voicing. That's the 1 chord. Now, what's the 6 chord? You got to know these numbers. You really do. And let me digress for a second. The way you learn these numbers is not to grit your teeth and memorize them, just to call them off. Just say and play, and eventually it'll stick. In the key of C, the 6th chord is A, and we're gonna play this voicing right here. Now, what do I do with my left hand? Since I can play roots, but it's a minor chord, so I could play this. Or this. Either way works. For the left hand. Now so there's, you got that? So we went from here to here. Now we're going to go to the 4 chord in the key of C. The 4 chord is F. Voicing in the right hand, which if you watched any of my videos, these voicings should look very familiar to you because they just happen to be my favorite. And then the 5 chord is a G7 chord. Or you could suspend that and go. So here's the whole thing. Okay, now so this is not a video on voicing, this is a video on modulation. So we have to have something to modulate. So that's our progression. Now, the first step is to get yourself started. Your first step is this voicing. That's the one chord. Can you take that chord by itself through the keys? Let's take it up. So we know, let's go back to C. We know that's a 1, 7, 3, 5 voice. Let's take that up. Now we're in the key of D flat. That's still a 1, 7, 9, 3, 5 voice. Let's take it up again. Same numbers, just a different key. This is your first step. Can you take it up again? Let me see, where am I? I'm on D flat. You just gotta sit with that one chord, take it up again. I'm in the key of A, D flat, to B. Now I'm back to C again. What goes up must come down. Now I'm back where I started from. So let me go through that a little bit slower so that you can get it, or you hit the pause button on the video if you need to. We know we have a starting place here. We got a 1, 7, 3, 5 voicing, right? Beautiful voicing, by the way. We could have done any voice. We could have done this voicing. Could have done this voicing. Could have done lots of voicings. I just happened to choose this one. So I'm giving you a process that you can use to modulate. Now we're going to take it up. Now if that's confusing to you, just stay there. It's still a root. Now if you want to know what key I'm in, watch my left hand. Watch my left hand. That tells you what key I'm in. I'm in the key of D flat. 1, 7, 9, 3, 5. Same voicing as this, different key. Do this 100 times. Now at least you can modulate from the key of C to D flat. Now let's take it up again. As I mentioned in the last video, unlike the guitar, we pianists cannot lock our hands and slide up and down fretboards. The shape is different. That's why you want to just sit and go back to C. Notice that shape. Some people call them grips. I call them a shape. This is a different shape. Here's another one. You have to know this first. So here's E flat. Right? Here's E. If you need to pause and capture these voicings on the virtual keyboard, then go ahead and do so, or write them down. Here's some F. They're all one chords, they're all major chords, and they're all exactly the same voicing, except for they're just in different keys. Here's I'm in the key of G. Let's take that up. Okay, so now let's be like detectives. Let's get some clues that will help us. After a while, you won't need it, but if this is new to you, let's get every clue we can get. Look at my thumb is always a half step below the root. That'll anchor you. See, if I can get my thumb right, then my other fingers might fall in place. So we have thumb below the root, that root. We're not playing the root in the right hand, but the thumb is a half step below that. My first finger, I guess in piano terms that's my second finger, is a whole step above. Half step below, whole step above, another whole step, and then a minor third. That'll help you because look, it's the same here. Half step below the root, a whole step above, another whole step, and then a minor third. Half step, I'm in the key of D. See, here's D, a half step below. So take every clue you can take, but step one is get a voicing. And then, now, I don't know what you play, if you play fast songs, slow songs, or whatever, but let's just take a tempo. One, two, three, four. You gotta be able to play music with it. That means you kind of got it. You don't even have to think about it too much. Get the idea? That's the final step. If you can play it in tempo, up and down and down. Now the other thing is, you don't have to go all the way up. You can go up. Let's take it up. Let's take it back down. Let's take it up. In other words, you can do the weave. Now I'm on D. Let's take it back down. Let's take it up. Up again. Let's down. Down again. Up. In other words, you don't have to go all the way up and all the way down. You can weave. You can go up 3, down 1. Let's try that. Up 3, down 1. 1. Right? Let's take the tempo away. Up. There's 2. There's 3. Down 1. Up 3. Down 1. Up 3. Down 1. In other words, play some games with it. Okay. All right, so that's the 1 chord. Now, our progression said 1, 6, 4, 5. So let's get the 1 connected to the 6. And then we're going to take all 2 chords up. Now, once you have, that's why I spend a lot of time on the 1 chord here. Because to get to the 6th chord, it's only 1 finger is moving, this one here. That finger right there is going to go here. Watch this. The 1 chord and the 6th chord are very close chords. Notice the movement in the right hand. 1. Slight hand movement. Notice that. That'll really help you when you're playing songs. Only 1 finger moves. Now don't get confused by all that stuff I threw in the middle. Let me take that out. 1, 2, 3, 4. That. So we're not just playing a chord, we're playing a chord progression. the 6th. Now if you want to put numbers on that, you can say, well, the 9 went to the minor 3rd. I don't know if I would do all that. Just get the space relationships. It is your 2nd finger moving down a whole step. You want to try that on D flat? Remember now, what is 2 things you got to know. In the key of D flat, what's the 6th chord? Well, in the key of D flat, the 6th chord is B flat. You just got to know that. If you don't know that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But you don't have time to be doing that during the song, so you just have to know in the key of D flat, the 6th chord is B flat. Now look at my 2nd finger going down. I'm down a whole step just like we did before. So let's modulate with just those 2 chords. 1, we're in the key of C. Here's D flat. See how we're building and building and building until we just got it. We just know it. Now we're going to apply it to. And this 1, 6, 4, 5 is in a lot of songs. That's why I picked it. Especially gospel songs. Want to do another key? Now we're in the key of D. What's the 6th chord in D? B is. Look at my finger doing the same thing. Everything is staying the same. Except for my 2nd finger move down a whole step. I had to jump over this. Want to do another one? E flat. What just happened in my right hand? Exactly the same thing. E flat. We got that in step 1. Now we need the 6th chord, and we need that finger right there to move a whole step down. I'll do another one. I'm in the key of F. What is it, the 6th chord now? D is. So you get these similarities. Okay, so let's go back to C. Now you can, I think, you can do the rest. If you can't, drop a comment down. Say I need to just do all 12 keys and everything I say. But I think you're getting the idea. Once you have the starting place, that's the hard part. Now we need to know this is a beautiful chord, by the way. I'll do a little melody on there. Sorry about that. I should keep it kind of clean. Okay, so now I got the 1 chord and the 6th chord. So back to C again. Remember, only 1 finger move. That's my 2nd finger. Now I need the 4 chord. Once again, only 1 finger is going to move. That's my thumb this time. So my thumb, my 1st finger and my thumb are taking turns moving. Do that again so you can really see that simple can be very beautiful. Here's the 1 chord. Look at that. Look at your pointer finger. I call it the 2nd finger. Okay. Now you do have to know the chord progression. It moved a whole step down. Now I need the 4 chord. My thumb is going to move a whole step down. Now when you get to the 5 chord, there's lots of options here. You can actually do this. You can do this. But that's fodder for another video. The 5 chord has lots of options. But let's do the whole progression now. So the video's not 9 hours long. watch what finger is moving in my right hand. It's the point I'm trying to make. Watch this. That finger's getting ready to move a whole step down. Now this finger's getting ready to move a half step down. Let's do the whole thing. So pick your your 5-chord voicings. Actually, one of my favorite 5-chord voicings is this. No, it's this. That voicing. Now, if I were you, I would steal that voicing, especially if you play any talk music at all at church. This is money, money. So we have root, root, and root. And we're just filling it in with this voicing here. In other words, be able to play that all over the place. Be able to play that all over the place. But here, find the starting place and then modulate. That's a beautiful voicing for talk music. It's like a G sus. You can resolve that sus by taking this note down. But I digress. Back to our progression. One finger just moved. Now the thumb moved. Now the finger moves a half step. That's what we're progressing. Modulating. First finger move. To the 4 chord. To the 5 chord. Now let's modulate that song. Now we're in the key of D flat. Oops, okay, so that's not a half step, a whole step. There it is. Now we need this. Oh. So I intentionally fumble around just to show. Nah, I'm just kidding. Let's do D flat again. Do it a few times till you got it. 6, 4, to the 5. And if you watch my right hand, you notice this finger and this thumb is taking turns moving. These top 2 notes are staying the same. Now let's take it up. Now we're in the key of D. What's the 6th chord in D? Well, B is. What's my right hand doing? This finger's gotta go a whole step down. There it is. And now I need a thumb to go a whole step down. Looks like B minor 7 over G, but that's another video which I have already done. But just watch your thumb go down. Now that means that this finger's going to go down. So now I need the 5 chord, which is A, and this finger's going to go down a half step. Now let's do D again. Nope, that wasn't it. Wrong finger. get to all the keys. Here's E flat. E flat goes, the 6 in E flat is C. And this finger is going down a whole step. In E flat, the 4 in E flat is A flat, and now this thumb is going down. Now this finger is going down a half step. Let's get that in some tempo. Get the idea? Now, do you want to take it up? No. I'm in the key of E. Say, I have trouble finding the 6th chord. Well, get a clue. Get the clues. Okay, the 6th chord is a whole step below this thumb. Now remember, that's just a clue. That doesn't mean that thumb's going there. Just visually say, I need the 6th chord. Wherever this thumb is, look a whole step down. But remember, it's this finger that's going to move. That's just your left hand. So now the 6th in the key of E is C sharp or D flat. Who moved last time? This finger moved last time, so that means the thumb's going to move this time. And so we need a... So we're in the key of E. So now we need A. Now A. Now we're going to go up to B. Keep working like this until you can modulate up a half step in any key you want. Now, last time I told you, I'm not going to do it in this video because it's just making it too long. If you need me to drop a comment down, I'd be glad to do it for anybody that needs it. The main modulations that I hear are up a half step. This thing. This thing. It's a very effective device. I mean, it does get people lathered up and excited. But the other modulation that you will hear, especially in some jazz, is upper minor third. This. So let's say we're doing the key of C. C up to E flat. I don't hear that too much in church, but I do hear it in jazz. So that's a modulation of a minor third. Technically, you can modulate from any place to any other place. Now, there is a prep. Usually when you hear modulations, there's several ways you can do it. You can go directly to that modulation, which is what we've been doing. In other words, we go directly there. We go here. But you can prep that. I don't hear it too much in church again, but in jazz I do. And so I know I'm in the key of C, and I need to get to the key of D flat. Well, I just go right there. But I can prep that. I can do a 2-5-1, for example. Let's say I'm modulating from C to E flat. Well, I can prep that by a 2-5-1. I can go C. Now I'm in the key of E flat. Now the same thing applies. to the key of C. Well, I can do this. Now I'm thinking in the key of C. One effective device is the 4 major going to the 4 minor. So that's another way you can hook a couple of keys together. Right, that's the 1 chord, here's the 6 chord, here's the 4 chord, 4 is going to 4 minor, just knock you right to the key of E flat. Alright YouTube, I just got a little carried away today, but it's fun stuff to modulate. If you have any questions at all, you know the drill, drop them in the comments below. I'll read every last one of them. And you guys have a fantastic day. We'll talk to you on the next video.